Nagpapatuloy ngayon ang investigasyon ng Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee kaugnay ng mga di umano'y maanumalyang proyekto sa Makati. Panoorin po natin ito.
Resolution number 1114, which is about the alleged irregular transactions entered into by the Home Development Mutual Fund or the Pag-ibig Fund and the Boy Scouts of the Philippines under the leadership of Vice President Jejomar Binay. We have conducted 22 hearings so far, and we have tackled the following subject matters: the alleged overpricing of the Makati City Hall 2 parking building, alleged overpricing of the Makati Science High School building, alleged overpricing of the University of Makati Nursing Building or the Health and Physical Sciences Building, alleged irregularities in the cakes and other benefits of senior citizens in Makati City, the so-called Hacienda Binay, alleged irregularity in the acquisition of the property in Comembo, Makati, owned by Miriras Realty and Development Corporation, the alleged monopoly of Omni Security of the security services contract in the city of Makati, alleged irregular transactions entered into by the Home Development Mutual Fund or Pag-ibig Fund, the Boy Scouts of the Philippines Alpha Land Joint Venture Agreement, which is allegedly disadvantageous to the Boy Scouts, alleged anomalous University of Makati STI Joint Venture Agreement, the Makati City Sister Cities Program, alleged overpricing of the Makati Friendship Suites, and the alleged neglect of the Makati Homeville. So these are 13, not less than 13 subject matters. Hence, we have actually devoted only 1 to 2 hearings per topic. As a result of the subcommittee's hearings, other government agencies have acted in accordance with what has been revealed in our hearings. The Bureau of Internal Revenue has filed on January 22, 2015, a 73.34 million peso tax evasion complaint against Mr. Antonio Chu, the person who claimed ownership of the Rosario, Batangas property. On March 5, 2015, the Office of the Ombudsman Special Panel of Investigators filed a complaint charging Vice President Binay, Mayor Binay, and other Makati officials and private respondents with malversation, falsification, violations of Section 3E of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, and violation of the Government Procurement Reform Act in connection with several alleged irregularities in the procurement and award of the contracts for the design and or architectural services and the construction of the Makati City Hall 2 parking building. The Department of Agrarian Reform has investigated possible violations of Republic Act number 6657, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, in the Hacienda in Rosario, Batangas, which is now known as Hacienda Binay. The DAR Secretary has committed to pursue the investigation of this property and to report to this subcommittee the results of his investigation. The Anti-Money Laundering Council has conducted discrete investigations of the bank accounts and transactions, insurance policies, and other investments of the personalities who have been prominently mentioned in our hearings, and had secured a freeze order from the Court of Appeals over these accounts, numbering around 242. Mayor Junjun Binay has been suspended from office by the Office of the Ombudsman on June 29, 2015. In January 2015, the Boy Scouts of the Philippines was finally paid rent by Alpha Land for the use of its share in the premises constructed pursuant to the joint venture agreement between the BSP and Alpha Land in the amount of more than 7 million pesos, and that was covering 2014 rentals. And the COA, of course, has conducted special audits of the various subject matters we have discussed in these hearings. In my opening statement last August 20, 2014, I made a gentle reminder to everyone that at this point in time, the allegations of overpricing and anomalies are just that, allegations. However, on May 26, 2015, this subcommittee issued a partial report on the alleged overpricing of the Makati City Hall 2 parking building. To resolve the issue of whether the Makati City Hall 2 parking building, constructed at the cost of 2.28 billion pesos, is overpriced, the subcommittee employed various tests and standards before coming up with its conclusion that indeed the said building is overpriced. We employed the valuation approach, the benchmarking against industry standard approach, the comparison approach, the bill of quantities approach, and the opinion of experts approach. The valuation approach estimated the Makati City Hall 2 parking building to cost around 891 million pesos versus the 2.28 billion pesos in actual cost. The benchmarking against industry standard approach yielded the construction amount of 35,260 pesos per square meter versus the 69,549 pesos and 54 centavos per square meter in actual cost. Therefore, after careful scrutiny of the evidence on hand, the subcommittee concluded that the Makati City Hall 2 parking building is clearly overpriced, and the amount of the overprice is from a low of 1,124,137,306.7 pesos to a high of 1,384,069,379.14 pesos. The subcommittee stated in the said partial report that its investigation on the alleged overprice in the construction of Makati City Hall 2 parking building has revealed the commission of the crime of plunder committed through what we called a grand conspiracy. The personalities recommended to be charged with the crime of plunder are enumerated in the said partial report of the subcommittee. Hence, we concluded that since the first part of proposed Senate Resolution number 826, the alleged overpricing of the Makati City Hall 2 parking building has been proven, the investigation that your subcommittee has done cannot be said to be politika lang. Hence, your subcommittee will carry on with its duty and will continue with its investigation of and hearings on proposed Senate Resolution number 826 as well as proposed Senate Resolution number 1114 in aid of legislation until their logical conclusion. And as I stated on January 22, 2015, this Senate investigation is necessary for the ascertainment of the truth, and truth is certainly necessary for the enlightenment of our nation. Let me point out that Vice President Binay has been invited to appear before this subcommittee not less than 3 times. He has refused to honor our invitation on all 3 occasions. We can therefore sense the lack of urgency and cooperation on the part of Vice President Binay to clear his name before the Senate and even before the bar of public opinion. We will no longer invite Vice President Binay to attend our hearings. But if he volunteers to appear sometime in the future, then we will give him all the time that he needs. One personality mentioned prominently in our hearings and who we had subpoenaed and subsequently cited for contempt and ordered arrested is Mr. Jerry Limlingan. Mr. Jerry Limlingan has been mentioned in the alleged 3-bag kickback system, also in the negotiations of the BSP Alpha Land joint venture, also as a co-signatory in Omni Security Investigations and General Services Incorporated transactions, also as JCB Foundation President, also as part of Meridas Realty and Development Corporation, also as part of Kasanib Foundation, also mentioned in the STI-UMAC joint venture agreement as he was a trustee of the University of Makati. Also mentioned in the investigation of alleged anomalies in the Pag-ibig as he was also a consultant of the HUDCC. Also mentioned by Attorney Martin Subido as owning pieces of land inside or in the vicinity of the Hacienda Binay, and also mentioned in the anti-money laundering report. The subcommittee is interested to hear the explanation of Mr. Jerry Limlingan as to why he seems to be everywhere the Vice President is? Or is it the other way around? Where in the world is Jerry Limlingan? According to the Bureau of Immigration, there has been no record of his departure from the country. If he is still in the country, then why is he hiding rather than defending his name and family honor? Or is he being held against his will and thus unable to come forward? Walay limlingan, walay undangan. We have to find Mr. Jerry Limlingan and hear his testimony before we can even think of terminating our hearings. Kaya bago natin wakasan ang investigasyon na ito at yaman din lang na ayaw ni Vice Presidente Binay humarap sa Senado, itutuloy natin ang paghahanap para kay Ginoong Jerry Limlingan at gawin na lang natin ito na isang national manhunt. At tayo ngayon ay nananawagan sa NBI at sa PNP at sa taong bayan na tulungan ang Senate Sergeant at Arms para po rito sa ating paghahanap kay Mr. Jerry Limlingan. So with that said, we now proceed to our hearing proper. Let me thank Senator Sonny Trillanes for his presence in today's hearing. And may I call on Attorney Agapito Rene Conchu to acknowledge for the record our resource persons and witnesses present today.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, please proceed.
Good morning, sirs. In attendance in today's hearings are NBI Director Virgilio Mendez, he is also representing Secretary Laila de Lima. We also have Attorney Elaine Gitan representing Commissioner Siegfried Mison. We have with us Mr. Federico Cuervo. We also have Dr. Victor Limlingan, Mr. Ernesto Mercado, Engineer Mario Echenalva, and Mr. Nicolas Enciso. Those are the personalities present today, sir. We have also subpoenaed.
Who did we subpoena for today's hearing and not present today?
For today's hearing, Your Honor, we have subpoenaed the Chong family, Erlinda Chong, Kim Tun S. Chong, Irene S. Chong, Aimee S. Chong, Kimsper S. Chong, and Miss Irish S. Chong. This morning, Your Honor, we are in receipt of a letter from their lawyer, Attorneys Fournier and Sanyo, expressing the fact that they are going to be unable to attend this morning's hearing, Your Honor.
Okay, in that case, we have to formally ask them to explain why a show cause order be issued, asking them to explain within 5 days from today why they should not be cited for contempt.
Yes, Your Honor.
And just for the information of everybody, on Tuesday, we will have a Blue Ribbon meeting to tackle our recommendations for contempt. I think at least 3 of the Chongs are included in that recommendation for having snubbed our earlier hearings.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Attorney Conchu, please find out if there is a new witness or resource person and administer the oath, and then remind the returning witnesses that they will be testifying under the same oath, please.
Yes, sir. Finally, Your Honor, if I may, we have also one more invitee or person subpoenaed, Miss Marguerite Licnoc, but unfortunately, she still could not be found, Your Honor. Okay. Could I please ask all those who are appearing before the committee for the first time to stand up so that I may administer your oath? Mr. Licnoc? Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation? Thank you, sir. Please sit down.
You're testifying under the same oath that you have taken before. Okay, before I recognize Senator Trillanes, we have here the NBI Director himself. So, Mr. Director, I issued actually, it was phrased as an appeal, but actually it was a challenge directed to the NBI. So, may we please get your reaction or some information about Mr. Jerry Limlingan?
Good morning, Your Honors. Now, in relation with the tasking that was given to the NBI, efforts have been exerted on this. A whole division of the intel services has been assigned. But we regret to inform this honorable body that the efforts yielded negative results. We have worked on several informations that reached the office. We sent people to verify and check this information, but they came home empty. But rest assured, Your Honor, that these efforts will still be pursued, and hopefully we will have some good results in the coming days.
Dr. Llanes, please.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Director Mendez, since andito yung kapatid ni Mr. Jerry Limlingan, si Mr. Victor Limlingan, might as well tatanungin natin siya at baka matulungan natin, baka matulungan tayo. Mr. Limlingan, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bago ko po kayo itanong tungkol dun sa mga financial transactions regarding the Vice President, tatanungin ko po muna kayo, meron po ba kayong communication ng inyong kapatid na si Mr. Jerry Limlingan?
Wala po.
Wala. Hindi ho ba kayo kinakabahan? O may malasakit ho ba kayo sa kapatid nyo in the first place?
If you recall, in 2010, my brother was shot and almost killed.
Yes.
And up to now, the people who committed the crime have not been arrested. Because of that, my brother has been very security conscious, no? And our arrangement is if he needs any help, he'll call me, but he hasn't called me.
So, kayo wala lang. You just move on with life na wala siya for the past ilang months na ho?
Well, that's his decision, not mine.
No. I'm asking you as a brother. Kayo po yung kapatid eh. Kasi yung ordinaryong Pilipino, pagka nawawala yung mga kamag-anak nyo, in this case, kapatid ho, malapit ho ito. Hindi ho ito pinsan, third or fourth degree. Kapatid po ito. Ano ho ba?
Well, sabi niya sa akin, I'm concerned, but for me, I'm leaving it up to him on whether he wants to get in touch with me. I'm not going to take the initiative to look for him.
Do you expect us, ito, hindi lang yung komite, kundi yung yung taong bayan na nakikinig, na wala kayong communication whatsoever, tapos kayo, hindi nyo alam kung patay siya o buhay siya, wala lang kayong pakialam.
Whatever the committee or anybody thinks, my belief is that I'll just have to wait for my brother to call me. No?
Okay. So, well, you have taken your oath. Alam niyo yung risk na tinitake nyo. At kayo ho, you're running what's this? How do you call Regina Capital?
It's a stock brokerage firm ho. It's a member of the Philippine Stock Exchange.
Stock brokerage firm. Alam niyo ho, pagka nag-i-invest ka, kailangan tiwala ka dun sa mga mamahala rito. So, ganun ho ang pinapakita natin dito. With a straight face, sasabihin niyo na wala kayong communication whatsoever for the past year with your brother. Hindi nyo alam yung whereabouts niya, I presume.
Yes, sir.
Yes, wala. Parang wala lang kayo pakialam. Tuloy lang ang buhay, parang ganun ho.
Well, as I said, he was actually almost killed, almost assassinated. So there's a security risk for him, and I don't want to be the cause of any security risk on his part. That's why.
Okay. Security risk, NBI ho yung naghahanap eh. Ganito ho, alam nyo ho, itong sila Vice Mayor Mercado at yung ibang mga testigo natin dito, sila nag-risk, malaki rin ang risk na kinakaharap nila, kaya nga na-protectionan po sila nitong komite. Kaya nandito. Ngayon, we can offer the same to your brother, Mr. Jerry Limlingan. We can waive all this, what's this, yung mga arrest order para lang maproteksyonan po namin siya. And talagang kami ho, pag sinabi namin po proteksyonan natin, talagang po proteksyonan natin. And we have the government on our side. So yun nga ho, no? Kung meron kayong malasakit sa inyong kapatid, kumbinsihin nyo siya, papuntahin, kakausapin ho natin. Eh malay nyo, makumbinsi natin maging testigo laban kay Vice President Binay. Eh talagang ano yan, hindi lang masisecure yung kanyang personal safety, kung hindi, mariredeem niya yung pangalan ng Limlingan. Kasi ngayon yung Limlingan parang ano it is now synonymous to a dummy. Eh, apelyido nyo rin ho yan and you're running a brokerage firm. It's not good. So yan ho ang plano natin. Hindi natin hinahanap si Mr. Jerry Limlingan para torturen. Hinahanap natin siya para bigyan natin siya ng personal security, i-assure na safe siya, at itong lahat ng even mga legal problems na kinakaharap niya ay alam naman ito ng ating chairman na meron sa ating batas that kung ma-accept siya as a state witness, pwedeng ma-waive po ito lahat. May mga ganong guarantees o immunity from prosecution. So we have offered that to our state witnesses here, our resource persons here. And we can offer the same. Kukumbinsihin natin siya na dito makakalakad siya ng makakahinga siya na maayos kaysa kung saan man siyang liblib na lugar na nagtatago na palapit na, matutumbok na, and pag gano'n namang nangyari, eh pasensyahan po tayo. Lalo hong mapiperwisyo yung buhay niya. So, wala kayong maibibigay na impormasyon kay Atty. Mendez?
Wala po.
Wala. So, napag-usapan nyo na yan na talagang inyo na lang muna. Huwag nyo mo i-release yung information. Ano ho? Yun ho ba napag-usapan nyo? Na huwag nyo munang i-reveal yung whereabouts niya?
As I said, I really don't know where he is.
Sige. So, pero do you also stand na by your word na wala kayong tinawagan sa telepono? Hindi kayo nag-usap sa telepono?
Hindi po.
Hindi po talaga. So kung may mahagip dyan na conversation or through the numbers, you will still deny it?
Well, I'm sure I haven't talked to him.
Okay. So wala lang. Talagang siguro nag-away ho kayo. Kaya medyo wala lang kayo pakialam sa inyong kapatid. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, but are you sure na buhay pa si Mr. Jerry Limlingan?
As I said, I have no information.
So ganun lang. You know, you're even smiling ho. You have no information whether he's dead or alive.
I'm sorry kasi you were saying nag-aaway kami. You know, I love my brother. So, I
Hindi,
think to say that nag-aaway kami is not
okay
really
po.
true.
Okay po. Pero, sumahal nyo yung kapatid ninyo. Di ba? Ang tanong ko nga rito, sigurado ba kayo na buhay pa yung kapatid ninyo?
I guess I cannot be sure, no?
So, you cannot be sure.
Because I haven't received any call from him, no?
Yun nga, what are you doing about it? Nawawala yung kapatid nyo. Nag-file ba kayo ng report ba lang sa police na nawawala yung kapatid ninyo? Hindi nyo na makontak?
Well, as I said, ang premise niyan is that his life was in danger, no? That's why, for me, it's better not to know too much about his whereabouts because it might be the cause of, you know, his getting killed, no? I don't want that on my conscience.
So, yun ho ang sinasabi nyo. Kasi hindi ho yun yan ang natural na emotion ng nagmamalasakit na kapatid na dun sa nawawala.
Ang difference ho is that, as I said, in 2010, he was shot and almost killed. And the people who shot him are still around. No?
Eh baka nandoon din ho sa same group.
Hindi ko,
Ha?
hindi ko ho alam yun.
Oh, yun ho, dapat mas maging concerned ho kayo. Baka dun the same circle, bakit siya gustong ipapatay? Baka alam niya masyado yung marami kung saan nakabaon yung pera, kung saan nakatago. So, baka ganun ho. Well, let me just say, I'm not buying that, ano. Alam ko, alam nyo, yung estado ng kapatid ninyo. Kasi ganun naman ho yung, you appear na okay naman ho kayo eh. Hindi kayo parang nagluluksa o worried about your brother.
I'm worried about my brother.
But that's it. You didn't lift a finger. Wala kayong tinawagan man lang o paghahanap. Wala kahit sa kung sinong ibang kamag-anak na nakausap basta sinabi, hindi, okay siya.
Well, difficult as it is for me to accept, I have to accept that it's his decision on whether he will get in touch with me or not. And so far, he hasn't got in touch with me. You're correct that it's a very difficult decision. I'm really worried. But I have to respect our agreement that he will be the one to call me if ever he
Your
needs me.
agreement, ayun, na ano natin. Well, sige ho. Basta't ganun po ang aking pananaw. Thank you.
We make of record the presence of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Do we have any additional information from Attorney Elaine Tan? You're from Immigration?
No, Your Honor, we don't have a new entry on the travel records of Mr. Gerardo Limlingan, was born on April 11, 1942.
So same as before.
Yes, Your Honor, same as before.
Okay, so NBI Director, just double or triple your efforts. And by the way, the NBI Modernization Bill has been filed, no? Before the plenary. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
so pakitang gilas naman po tayo. Director. Okay. Alan, we can let go of the director. Wala kang tanong kay director. NBI, recommend this.
Sir Chair,
Senator Cayetano.
magandang umaga, Director.
Good morning, sir.
Just two quick questions, no? Yung klase ng graft and corruption o pagnanakaw ngayon ng mga politiko at ng mga nagsischeme or may mga scam, no? Nagiging mas complex, di ba? Whether politiko o hindi, di ba? Yung mga pyramiding, for example, na iniimbestigahan nyo ngayon, yung dati, simpleng lokohan lang, o simpleng nakawan, but we have seen that their schemes have becoming more financially complicated or sophisticated. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
At natututo na rin po yung mga iba kung paanong i-protect ang sarili nila o yung kinita nila, no? By also using the laws or using the laws of other countries by putting their profits and hiding it, hindi po ba?
Ganun na rin po.
So dati, halimbawa, mag-kickback ang isang politiko or he buys a land that tinamaan ng isang highway, or inexpropriate ng isang mayor yung isang lugar, tapos siya din ang bumili, kitang-kita, di ba? But ngayon, there are much more sophisticated means. So may I ask if the NBI is also strengthening, no, its financial forensics or whatever it's called now, no? Kasi dati kilala talaga ang NBI na pagka mga, let's say, yung mga kidnapping, carnapping, etc. sa PNP yan. Pero NBI agents are either lawyers or accountants, hindi po ba?
That's right, Your Honor.
So during the 70s and 80s, talagang grabe po ang tingin ng NBI is sort of a mixture of the FBI and Secret Service. The Secret Service kasi yung mga treasury under the US Treasury. So yung mga financial crimes dati ang talagang main investigative body natin sa Pilipinas is the NBI, no?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, we have a specific division that really handles on these kinds of crimes involving corruption, that has having relation with these scams that is already it's proliferating in the market, in the public.
And whether I agree with you or not on the pork barrel scam, that's something else. But it shows that the NBI is ready to come face to face now with politicians that used to be untouchable. No? So my next question is just simple. No? So now that you've seen that there are some things to investigate, may it be publicly listed companies, private companies, may it be the Regina Capital, the wife of Mr. Limlingan, came here and said that in the spirit of transparency, the good name of Regina Capital, they're willing for the PSE to do an investigation. Sir, may I ask, would you also allow NBI to join the PSE in that investigation?
Yes, Your Honor. The only thing that we request is it be done through the Philippine Stock Exchange.
Yes.
Because in the Philippine Stock Exchange, they have an organization called the Capital Market Integrity Corporation, which undertakes all these audits. So
Yes.
if it could be done
That's true.
in partnership with the Capital Market Integrity Corporation.
Let me assure you,
that's
sir, that we're here to build, not to destroy. No? Unfortunately, sometimes when you build, you have to destroy and corruption has to be destroyed. But that doesn't mean na kailangan may collateral damage, lalo sa atin mga stockbrokers, sa atin mga publicly listed companies. No? But we've seen Mr. Chu here. And sa 100 na businessman kong nakausap, ni isa, walang nagsabing industry practice yung klase ng kontrata niya, walang nagsabi na maniniwala silang ganun ang pagbili. That's why it's important that yung faith ng tao sa NBI. No, I grew up, I was born in 1970, but I grew up na napakataas ng tingin sa NBI. And I think, Director, this is really your opportunity, your organization's opportunity, no, to build up its name in terms of performance. So last question, you'll have more time during the budget hearing, but since the public is listening here, can you tell us, no, do you have what you need, or marami pa bang kailangan ng NBI para, for example, in terms of equipment, no? Pag napapanood natin kung ano meron ng FBI or ano meron ang Canadians, ang Australians nandito sa atin tumutulong sa anti-terrorism, but in terms, for example, does NBI have its own crime lab, for example?
Your Honor, we have our own crime lab so far as cyber. But if we are interested to know as to the technology of the NBI, we are very far from even our neighboring states. In fact, we still rely on our human intelligence. If there are times we need to track some cell phones, we go to our counterparts, we go to the military, we go to other sources, because we do not have all this equipment that we need. And this is really the reason why we are pushing and asking and pleading for the passage of our modernization bill.
So in other words, Director, kayo nasisisi parate pagka hindi ma-solve yung isang crime, but yung equipment, yung technology, yung resources na kailangan nyo ay parating kulang, no? Not to make an excuse, but just to state a fact, di ba, na there's much that we can do to uplift the capability of NBI. You mentioned human intelligence. May intelligence funds bang NBI?
We are only receiving a very minimal intelligence fund for the whole year,
Which is how much?
18 million, Your Honor.
So that's only 1 million per region.
We cannot even afford to share it to the other services in the regional offices, because it will be on a case-to-case basis. If they have some case operational plans, that will be the time that we will share with them a little of what we have.
Yes. Anyway, you'll have an opportunity sa budget hearing, but I wanted the public to know that you're on top of the job, but there's a lot of things that you need. And with the permission of the chairman, and anyway, our chairman is also the chairman of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights, and I think he'll be your advocate, no, in the modernization of the NBI. He has already sponsored the bill. It will be my job naman to calendar it, and Senator Trillanes is very supportive of it. But maybe in this budget, no, there can already be some reforms that we can do, Director, no. But can you, if we excuse now, can you assure us that these things being brought up now will be investigated by the NBI?
Yes, Your Honor, but we have encountered some problems in cases of involving corporations because we believe that the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, has original jurisdiction on this. As a matter of fact, there are cases that we are working, big cases involving big corporations, but it's really difficult to immediately file the cases because we have to forward the results of our investigation to the SEC.
No, I fully understand. But remember, Director, ang administrative, ang SEC, no? Kayo, criminal investigation kayo. Although the SEC can file it in the... my point, no, para hindi na humaba yung usapan, baka you can get a DOJ opinion. Because my understanding is that when the NBI or PNP investigate and they issue a subpoena at hindi pumunta, treading on obstruction of justice yung mga ayaw umano, unless they can cite a law. For example, if a corporation can cite a law na confidential, halimbawa, you go to a soft drinks company at yung formula nila is confidential under the law, yun, excuse yun. But for example, may bombing and you're asking a company for their CCTV footage at ayaw nilang ibigay, I think the DOJ will be able to equip you or give you an opinion of the boundaries of your powers in investigating. No?
No, my reference, Your Honor, is in relation to investigation involving scams, involving stocks. We have come out already with reports, but we still have to forward it to the SEC
Yes.
for the review. In fact, no less than the Secretary has referred some of this investigation
But
to
that
the
is
SEC.
but Director, that's because of their expertise, not because you're prohibited from doing it your own. Meaning, if you had the budget and you can attract young corporate lawyers or you can attract remember in the 70s, young lawyers and young accountants would leave big firms to join the NBI, di ba? But
Yes, sir.
during that time kasi, from your benefits sa car loans, housing benefits, yung sweldo, no? Right now, our law enforcers, PNP, CIDG, NBI suffer talaga na mahirap mag-recruit, no? So I assume you're giving this to SEC not because under the law sila ang dapat mag-review, but because sila may expertise.
Your Honor, there is a provision in the SEC that cases involving stocks, it should be exclusive and original jurisdiction of the SEC. We have finally terminated one big case, but we still have to forward these records
Okay.
to the SEC.
Anyway, let's reconcile that because
Yes.
nga in this committee, we've invited the SEC, the PSE officials have been here, all of them have said that they will cooperate, and the Regina Capital have said that they'll be fully transparent, they're not hiding anything. So anyway, on that note, Director, Mr. Chair, can I just ask one or two questions kay Mr. Limlingan? Thank you, Director.
Senator Trillanes, before that, Senator Cayetano. Senator Trillanes?
Mr. Chairman, I believe we'll be going back to Mr. Limlingan later. So in the meantime, we'll tackle the Makati issue first.
Just 5 minutes. I'll just finish your point on Mr. Limlingan. Okay.
Before we go to Mr. Limlingan, so if we have no more questions for Director Mendez and Attorney Tan of the BID, okay, no more, we can let them go. So thank you for your attendance, Director Mendez, Attorney Tan.
Thank you, sir, and thank you also for the endorsement already of our bill. Thank you po.
We will still have to defend it, okay,
Yes, sir.
for the plenary. So,
So,
back to us. Okay, so, yes, Senator Cayetano.
Mr. Limlingan, good morning, sir. Just to follow up sa statement sa questions ni Senator Trillanes, and I do understand, no, you're not your brother's keeper, you're not his legal guardian, but you do also understand our position. He's been out of touch for a year, and we're looking for him. So can you so you're confirming that he is hiding? He is in hiding.
No, all I know is that he has not been in touch with me because I know that, as I said, because of the fact that there was an attempt on his life, he's following very strict security considerations. That's why even before this happened, I wouldn't even know where he is. He would just give me a call.
Sir, ilan kayong magkapatid?
There were 4 of us originally, but one died, and there are only 3 of us remaining.
Ilan kayo magpinsan, sir? More or less, 20, 30,
Ah,
10?
Kakunti lang eh.
Siguro 10, 10,
Siguro
12.
10.
Okay. So, to your knowledge, has he been in touch with any of your relatives? To your knowledge,
No,
no.
Nobody has told
So,
me.
dalawa lang yan, sir. He's either in hiding or he's missing. Diba? Pag hindi ko makita kapatid ko for 1 year na, either nawawala o nagtatago. Diba, sir?
Yeah, under normal condition, that is the premise. But as I keep saying, because of the attempt on his life, he's...
Yes.
been
So,
taken-
sir, because of the attempt of his life, he's either hiding or he's missing. If he's missing...
No, I
the-
think he's just being secure, no? He's not either missing or not. He's very,
Yeah.
very careful
Sir,
about...
when you want to be secured, dalawa lang yan. Pumunta ka sa napaka-publikong area para hindi ka matira. Di ba, like ako, I'm safe here sa Senate.
Yes.
Di ba, I also have death threats, but safe dito sa Senate. Or, you get security or magtago ka. So, since he's not in the public, he has not asked the NBI, the Senate, the PNP, the AFP, or anyone else for security. So, he's either missing or hiding. If he's missing, we will report him as missing, but has anyone in the family reported him as missing?
No one, Your Honor.
So I guess, sir, what's logical is that he's in hiding, no? Unless you know where he is.
No, I'm sorry, I don't know where
So
he is.
let me go back, sir. When was he shot, sir?
I think, I remember because it was in March, I think 2010, because at that time that I got the word, I was in Dipolog. And my
Sige, sir. So
my-
March 2010, just because I only asked for 2 minutes, no? So
okay.
2010 po siya binarel, sir. But from 2010 to 2014, he was not in hiding. He was everywhere. In all the events of Vice President Binay, present siya. Sa City Hall, he was present. So bakit nagka-threat lang siya nung nag-inexpose ni Senator Trillanes at ni Vice Mayor Mercado ang involvement niya dito?
Yes.
So you keep referring, sir, let me just finish, sir,
Yes,
but
I'm sorry.
you keep referring to his shooting as the death threat. But from the time he was shot until 2014, hindi siya nagtatago. Nagtago lang po siya nung na-expose na allegedly siya ang bagman at siya ang co-conspirator ng Vice President allegedly sa financial scams. Correct?
Yeah. Yung arrange, what I mentioned is since 2010, after that happened, that has been our arrangement. That, for example, I don't know where he stays at that time from
But
now.
isn't it true, sir, that from 2010 to 2014, he was in touch with everybody?
Yes, but I never called him. He always calls me.
But from 2014 to now, suddenly he disappeared.
Yes, but
Yes. So anyway, I'll
Yeah.
stop there
Yeah.
because we have a priority. Sir, can I get your commitment that when we take up the BSP, you or a high official of Regina Capital will be here because we have questions on that. But I will not ask it now so that
what is BSP?
well, the Boy Scouts of the Philippines po. Kasi doon po na-mention yung Noble Care, doon po na-mention yung inyong kumpanya.
Yeah.
So that we're not unfair to you and you won't feel that you'll have to respond at a later time, can I get a commitment na nandito kayo or someone who can speak for your company?
Yeah. Can I just give a statement on that, Senator? Because when it was mentioned, a few words lang. When it was mentioned that Alpha Land was the stockholder of the Regina Capital stockholder of Alpha Land, my wife, of course, denied that we were holding the shares for a company called Noble Care. When she came back, she took a look at our records, and because, as you know, a stockbroker will put shares in its name, but it is for the benefit of this one. So, per our records, which we can submit, the maximum amount of shares that we held for 2 individuals is about 200,000. That's worth about 2 million. And we will be ready to submit it and have it certified by the Capital Market Integrity Corporation that they have audited our books and that per the record, the only shares that Regina Capital held were the around 200,000 shares of Alpha Land.
Thank you for that, sir. And if you can commit to be here in the next hearing, then we can ask the questions. Then you can protect and defend your company. No? Thank
Do you wish us to submit those records?
Please,
Yes, sir.
the document you mentioned, please submit. the result of your audit.
Yes, sir.
Please submit to the subcommittee. And when the subcommittee schedules a hearing involving the BSP Alpha Land deal, we will invite you or one of your or your brokerage.
Yes,
Okay. So you send a request of Senator Cayetano, a high-ranking officer of your corporation, please. Okay. So Senator Trillanes, please.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Moving on to the next agenda, and we will go back to Mr. Limlingan later on. Just a little background. A few weeks ago, sumulat po tayo kay Mayor Peña at humihingi tayo ng mga ibang mga impormasyon at mga dokumento hingil dun sa mga ongoing investigations nila and auditing. At sumulat si Mayor Kid Peña na nagpapadala sa atin ng kanilang representative, si Mr. Arthur Cruto, na siya ang member ng Special Task Force to present preliminary results ng kanilang mga auditing sa Makati City. So, andito si Mr. Cruto. Magandang umaga sa inyo.
So Mr. Cruto is a new witness, so maybe ask
Attorney Concho, sir.
Attorney Concho to administer the oath.
Sir, please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation?
Yes.
Thank you. Please sit down, sir.
Okay, kilalanin muna natin si Mr. Cruto kung sino po ba siya, ano pong iyong role, at ano pong ibabahagi ninyo sa aming subcommittee.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo mga kagalang-galang na senador. Ako po si Arthur Cruto. Ako po ngayon ang kasalukuyang head ng Makati Action Center. At ako po ay inutusan ng aming kagalang-galang na Mayor Romulo Kid Peña
Acting Mayor.
or Acting Mayor Kid Peña para po ilahad po sa inyo kung ano na po ang kalagayan po ng inyong pagtatanong tungkol po sa ating mga senior citizens, particularly on the senior citizens program po.
Kasi ang na-question ang integridad ng senior citizens program ng Makati City Government, lalo na dun sa presyo ng cake, sa bilang ng cake, sa bilang ng beneficiaries. So ang sinasabi mo ba ay ikaw ay nag-audit nito? At ang report mo na ibabahagi mo ngayon sa subcommittee na ito ay either magpapatunay ng aligasyon na may anomalya o may irregularidad or may problema, or pwede mong sabihin na wala.
Tama po yun.
Okay. Sige po. So are we ready? Ano po tayo? You have a presentation?
Mayroon po akong hinandang PowerPoint presentation para po lalong maipaliwanag ng maigi po kung paano po namin isinagawa yung aming audit.
Okay, so bago po kayo mag-umpisa, ihanda muna natin po yung PowerPoint presentation. So let us have a few minutes suspension for that.
Yan po ang pagpapatuloy ng pagdinig ngayon sa Senado kaugnay pa rin ng umano'y maanumalyang building sa Makati. Sumalang si Victor Limlingan, ang kapatid ni Jerry Limlingan. Dati na raw may tangka sa buhay ni Jerry na di na niya nakakausap yung kapatid. Handa raw ang Senadong bigyang proteksyon itong si Limlingan na partner.
Sumalang din kanina si Attorney Virgilio Mendez ng NBI. Tinanong ni Cayetano kung pinalalakas ba ang financial forensics nila sa NBI. At ang sabi nga niya ay tinututukan nila ang mga alegasyon ng scam involving pork barrel scam.
Kanina ay nag-appear yung kapatid nitong si Limlingan dahil sinasabi nga nila na ang pinupunto kanina, partner nitong si Senador Cayetano, kung noong 2010 ay nabaril na pala itong si Limlingan, mula 2010 hanggang 2014, hindi naman siya nagtago kung talaga nanganganib yung kanyang buhay. Pero na maisawalat yung umano'y pagkakasangkot niya sa anomalya umano sa Makati, doon na siya nagtago. So ito yung medyo hindi masagot itong kapatid ni Limlingan. Sinasabi niya hindi pa raw nila nakakontak mula noon.
Oo, at ang sinasabi nga nitong kapatid naman ni Jerry Limlingan ay base na rin sa huli nilang pag-uusap ng kanyang kapatid, ay hindi niya kukontakin ito. Bagkos siya ang kukontakin. So nire-respeto daw niya, na kumbaga siya ang kukontakin nitong si Attorney Jerry, at hindi na nga yung mismong mga pamilya nila ang nagsasabi nga, naniniwala sila na hindi naman ito talaga nawawala, Pero dahil sa sinasabing may banta sa buhay, kinakailangan ng magtago.
Magtago. At humingi na tayo ng karagdagang detalye mula sa ating reporter na nakatutok dyan sa Senado mula kay Jam Cesante. Jam?
Yes, Rafi, Connie, sa ngayon nga ay naka-break muna ngayon itong Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee habang inaayos pa yung presentation ni Arthur Cruto na pinuno ng Makati Action Center. Inimbestigahan daw nila yung mga di umano'y anomalya doon sa Senior Citizens Program at yun yung inaasahan na bagong impormasyon na tatalakayin sa pagdinig ngayon ng subcommittee. Kani-kanina nga ay humarap doon sa komite si Victor Limlingan, yung kapatid ni Jerry Limlingan na isang malapit daw na aide ni Vice President Jejomar Binay. Kanina, question ng mga senador si Limlingan kung nasaan ang kanyang kapatid, pero iginiit niya na wala silang contact sa ngayon at hindi daw niya alam kung nasaan ito. Sabi ni Victor, nagkaroon daw sila ng kasunduan ng kanyang kapatid matapos itong mabaril noong 2010 na nahihintayin na lamang niya na i-contact siya ni Jerry bago sila mag-usap. Kaya sa ngayon hindi niya masabi kung nasaan daw ang kanyang kapatid. Tinanong nga siya kanina ni Senador Trillanes kung alam ba niya kung buhay pa ang kanyang kapatid at hindi niya rin daw ito masabi. Sabi ni Blue Ribbon Subcommittee Chair Senador Coco Pimentel, hindi raw titigil ang investigasyon ng subcommittee hanggat hindi nila nahahanap itong si Jerry Limlingan dahil naniniwala silang marami itong mabibigay na impormasyon ukol doon sa mga alegasyon laban kay Vice President Binay. Si Limlingan kasi ang sinasabing domini Binay sa maraming kumpanya at dati sinabi na bagman din daw ito ng Vice Presidente. Bagay na itinanggi naman ng kampo ni Vice President Binay. Yan muna ang latest mula dito sa Senado. Rafi, Connie.
Jam, bukod dito kay Limlingan at yung magpipresenta mula doon sa Office of the Mayor ng Makati, sino pa yung mga inaasahang dadalo ngayon dyan sa pagdinig?
Yes, Rafi, ang inaasahan. Well, may mga iba pang inimbitahan. Dati na nga, kumbaga, dinadawit dito sa mga alegasyon laban kay Vice President Binay. Kasama na doon yung pamilya Chong, pero yun, hindi sila sumipot. Kaya pinag-isipan ng Senado na magpataw ng parusa. Pero yung inaasahan ngayon na so far, ito pa lang si Mr. Arthur Cruto, inaasahang magbigay ng presentasyon. Nandito rin si Vice Mayor Ernesto Mercado na naalam natin dati pang naglalabas ng mga alegasyon laban kay Vice President Binay. So inaasahan na magsasabi din siya ng kanyang nalalaman ukol dun sa Senior Citizens Program. Kahapon, meron ng sinabi na kumbaga meron ng nilabas na onting impormasyon sa Senador Trillanes ukol dun sa kanyang ilalahad ngayong araw. Sabi niya, base daw dun sa pagsusuri nila sa records mula sa Makati City Hall, 45% o halos kalahati ng senior citizens na nakalista bilang beneficiaries ng Makati, ghost citizens naman daw. Kumbaga, hindi raw totoong tao o patay na o kaya hindi naman daw taga Makati. So yun daw yung ilalahad nila ngayon at meron daw silang mga witnesses at mga dokumento na magpapatunay ng alegasyong ito. Rafi, Connie?
Yes, Jam. Kasi nabanggit nga nitong si Senador Trillanes noon pa man, bago pa magsimula ang muling pagdinig dito sa kaso nga ni VP Binay, ay marami nga daw siyang mga bagong isisiwalat. So bukod doon sa sinasabi nga na mga ghost, na mga sinasabi nating nakalista doon sa senior citizen, meron pa ba tayong iba pang kailangang abangan dito para naman sa gayon masabi nga na talagang marami. Sabi niya, according to him, marami daw bang iba pa na issue ang kanyang ibubunyag?
Yes, Connie, for this hearing, mukhang tututok sila dito sa issue ng senior citizens. Pero inaasahan niya na hindi magtatapos itong pagdinig na ito anytime soon. Magkakaroon pa ng iba't ibang pagdinig. Makwento ko lang, Connie, meron dito sa session hall na ilang mga senior citizens sa Makati. At inimbitahan daw sila ni Acting Mayor Kid Peña upang mag-obserba dun sa sa mga proceedings ngayon o doon sa pagdinig ngayong araw. At sinasabi nga nila na nakakatanggap talaga sila ng mga benepisyo mula doon sa Makati at gusto rin naman nila malaman kung ano yung katotohanan tungkol doon sa mga nangyayari sa kanilang lungsod.
So itong presentation ngayon na ibibigay, yung detalyado, Jam, na may ebidensya, kumbaga ganoon ang gagawin nila, no? Based on doon sa investigation na ginawa daw nila.
Yes, Connie, inaasahan nga na magbibigay ng mga detalye ukol doon sa mga alegasyon na una nang lumabas dahil nga tinignan ito nung lungsod ng Makati pagkatapos nga ilahad doon sa mga nakaraang pagdinig na di umano'y may mga anomalya doon sa senior citizen program. Kung maaalala natin doon sa mga unang bahagi nitong investigasyon, merong alegasyon na overpriced daw yung cakes at yung pagbibigay ng cakes sa mga senior citizens, isa nga ito dun sa mga benefits na natanggap ng mga senior citizens sa Makati. So isa yon dun sa mga tinignan ng administrasyon nitong si Acting Mayor Kid Peña mula nung siya'y maupo sa pwesto dahil nasuspinde si Mayor Junjun Binay.
At itong kapatid naman ni Jerry Limlingan ay kahit na kanina nakita natin talagang tinatry na pigain kung may nalalaman siya sa whereabouts nga ng kanyang kapatid, paulit-ulit niya lamang sinasabi na wala. So, meron pa bang kumbaga saysay na manatili siya dyan? Ngayon na parang ang kanilang tanong lamang basically about yung whereabouts nga ni Jerry Limlingan. Siya ba ay magsistay until the end o pwede na ba siyang umalis pagka nag-start na yung presentation? Ano bang balita natin?
I think, Connie, dahil na magsisimula na nga itong pagtalakay doon sa senior citizens programs, kung tutuusin, pwede na nga siyang umalis. Pero nakita rin natin sa mga nakaraang pagdinig na minsan pinapag-stay nila yung mga resource persons dahil maaaring bumalik doon sa naunang topic yung magiging diskusyon. So hanggat hindi sinasabi ng mga senador o ni Chairman Senador Coco Pimentel na pwede na siyang umalis ay hindi pa siya maaaring umalis. Nabanggit na rin naman kanina na posible rin nilang ipatawag pa sa ibang pagdinig itong si Victor Limlingan para naman i-discuss yung alleged involvement naman ng kanyang kumpanya doon naman sa isa pang kontrobersya, yung DSP Alpha Land Deal.
Jam, bukod dito sa presentation na gagawin, meron ba tayong inaasahang pasabog? Kasi may, kung di ako nagkakamali, merong prenamis itong si Senador Trillanes na pasabog, Jam.
Connie, sa ngayon, mukhang yung pasabog niya, ito nga tungkol dito sa senior citizen program, yung mga alleged na anomalies. Sinabi na before dati ni Senador Trillanes na base sa kanilang pagsusuri, mukhang 100 million kada taon daw yung kinikita ng mga Binay mula doon sa senior citizen program dahil halos kalahati daw ng beneficiaries hindi naman daw talaga totoo o ghost beneficiaries lang daw. So yun nga, meron daw silang pruweba na magpapatunay nito. Yung kampo naman ni Vice President Binay na una na rin sumagot dito. Sinabi nila na hindi totoo ito nga ilalabas ni Senador Trillanes na pawang mga kasinungalingan daw ito dahil ayon kay Joey Salgado, yung tagapagsalita ni Vice President Binay, personal daw na nag-a-apply yung mga senior citizens sa lungsod ng Makati upang makakuha ng benepisyo. At regular daw na sinisiguro ng lungsod na makukuha ng mga senior citizens yung kanilang benepisyo at sinisiguro din daw nila na kumbaga updated pa rin yung listahan. So wala daw katotohanan yung mga ilalabas ngayon ni Senador Trillanes. Pero tignan natin kung ano nga yung mga ebidensya na kanya ipepresenta. Dahil sabi niya, meron daw sila talagang documentary evidence at meron pang mga testimonya mula dun sa mga testigo. Ngayon, sabi ni Senador Trillanes, kasi medyo maingat din sa Senador Trillanes sa paglalabas ng impormasyon. Kumbaga, inaasahan natin na sa mga susunod na pagdinig, meron pa siya mga ilalabas. Pero sa ngayon, hindi rin siya masyado nagbibigay muna ng detalye hanggat hindi pa malapit dahil ayaw din naman niya na kumbaga masyadong makapaghanda ng depensa yung kampo ni Vice President Naira.
Okay. Sige, maraming salamat muna sa iyo, Jam. Babalikan ka namin kapag nagsimula na yung presentasyon. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Jam Sisante.